Welcome to Black Woman Leading the podcast. I'm Laura Knight, your host and the founder of BlackWomanLeading.com. Today we're talking about resetting with a digital detox with Dr. Joy Mena. If you've been feeling the drain of digital overload, if you've been feeling like the social media doom scrolling is starting to have a negative impact on you, and you want to get some tips to support your digital wellness and your overall self-care, then you need to keep listening. Let's get into it.
Black woman leading. Black woman leading. This podcast amplifies the needs and experiences of Black women leaders in the workplace with a holistic focus on three core areas: leadership development, mental wellness, and relationship management. Our ultimate aim is to help Black women learn, heal, and grow in their leadership capacity.
Hey y'all, before we jump into this episode, I wanted to let you know that registration is now open for the January 2026 cohorts of both our early career and mid-career leadership development programs. No matter where you are on your career journey, our programs are designed to support your holistic development, wellness, and career growth. Our mid-career program is designed for mid and senior level leaders, and it focuses on developing a customized career strategy in this season of your career. Our early career program is a training program, and it's designed to strengthen the foundational leadership competencies really needed to grow into leadership roles. And of course, both programs will center your mental wellness and self-care and also provide a culturally relevant lens for you to do your personal and professional development work as a Black woman. Now, both programs include a ticket to our annual Black Woman Leading Live conference and retreat. It's taking place May 11th through the 14th, 2026 in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Now, speaking of Black Woman Leading Live, it is the premier leadership development conference to help Black women professionals learn, heal, and grow in their leadership capacity. And honey, let me tell you, we have a time there. Activities include workshops, panels, wellness breaks, laser coaching, networking, action planning, and all of this in community with other brilliant Black women from across the country. Okay, in our 2026 event, we're going to be focusing on being future-ready leaders. So if you want to explore registering for one of our programs, our cohort programs, or if you just want to register for the conference, either thing, you can see the links in the show notes or visit our website at www.blackwomanleading.com to get all the details.
Black woman leading. Keep on healing.
Today we're talking about resetting with a digital detox with Dr. Joy Mena. Welcome, Dr. Nina.
Welcome. Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you. I'm excited to jump into this topic because I need this topic, okay? Mm-hmm. But before we get into it, let me give you all the official on Dr. Nina. Dr. Joy Mena is a highly accomplished psychiatrist and motivational speaker dedicated to helping individuals overcome mental health challenges and live fulfilling lives. With a wealth of experience in the field of psychiatry, Dr. Mena has become a respected authority on a range of issues, including depression, anxiety, and addiction. Dr. Mena is board certified in both general psychiatry and child and adolescent psychiatry by the American Board of Psychiatry and Neurology, and is licensed to practice in both Georgia and Iowa. She is also the founder and owner of NJoy Life, Living in Full Empowerment, LLC, a leading provider of psychiatric and motivational speaking services. So we always say our guests have the receipts, okay? And she has the receipts. Now, why did I want to do the topic? First of all, because I need the topic, okay? But second of all, I think just in our fast-paced world, right? And I think about our audience, busy professionals, maybe some entrepreneurs. I mean, I run my business from the phone. You travel from the phone. You know, we think about our children that are, have access that I didn't have when I was little. So I think we know we got to live with the technology. It's going to be there. But there is sometimes too much, and it affects us, and it is contributing to anxiety and all kinds of things. So in this season 8, which is about leaning into joy,
Nice.
taking care of ourselves, I thought this would be a really good topic.
Yes,
and given your expertise, I thought you would be a great person to help us kind of sort through this. That sound good?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Okay, very good. So before we jump into the topic, one of the things I always like to start with for all of our guests, because we view you all as possibility models for our Black woman leading community. So can you share a little bit about what the phrase, when you hear the phrase Black woman leading, what does that mean to you? And can you share a little bit about your journey as a real life Black woman leading?
Yes. I mean, when I think of Black women leading, I think of stepping into your purpose, into your calling, being authentic, and just doing your passion. And that's what I feel like I've been doing. It all starts when I was 5 and I got hit by a car. And for some reason, that's why when I decided I wanted to be a doctor.
Really? You weren't traumatized away from it?
Yeah, I guess I saw I called them baby doctors. So I wanted to be a baby doctor. And all my life, or all my childhood and teenhood, I've been trying to become a doctor. But then when I got into college, I got a 1.9 GPA. And I was like, oh, I'm too stupid for med school. I actually told myself that. And I said, I don't think I can do this. But the calling part, I knew that it was for me.
Really?
And
Wow.
I'm spiritual, so God, faith, all those things made me know that it was meant to be. I didn't know how I was going to get there with that 1.9, but I knew it was going to happen. So, when you feel like you have that purpose, that driven purpose, the calling and the passion, then you're going to work hard no matter what.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've always been called to be a leader and to work hard to get there. And so therefore, that's what I've always been doing. So even after medical school, I was in academics. After I left the academic setting, that's when I started my private practice and started the podcast.
Yes.
And just all about trying to empower others, whether it's kids, Black women, Black families, and just always about that and helping people inspire joy in their lives.
I love it, and it's perfect for this season.
Yeah.
I'm always just interested, though. What made you want to study psychiatry?
Yeah, so I remember in 11th grade, I think that was my first introduction to psychology, the class, and then I saw The Beautiful Mind. That's a really cool movie when it comes to psychology, and it just felt natural for me. Mental illness, there's some mental illness in my family. My one of my parents, my father was addicted to drugs. Right. So, it was always something that was in my life personally. You could see it on the news, see it in movies, and it was everywhere. And I just was like, ooh, I want to talk to people to help them feel better.
Yeah. So this is good. One of the things that is I think about this topic of, digital detox or digital reset, whatever we want to call it. One of the things that maybe a couple of years ago made me start kind of digging into this for myself is that I noticed when I would try to I'm not a big TV watcher, but when I would try to how people say, oh, it's Saturday, I'm going to take a Netflix binge day and just be on the couch and watch the shows. I would feel sick from watching the TV for a long period of time.
All day.
And then I found out later that I was sensitive to kind of the blue light. So glasses are my accessory of choice. I have 30 pairs of glasses. So I started getting the blue light on all my glasses, paying the extra fee, getting all the blue light. But it's, down that hole of researching and not even realizing that something about this screen could be doing something to my health.
Yeah.
That was my first kind of real realization. It was more on the biological side because I would get nauseous and stuff.
So you feel physically sick?
Yeah, I would feel physically sick.
Oh, wow.
I would feel physically sick. So I was really sensitive to the blue light. But then, digging down and seeing that with a lot of the digital overstimulation, there is all manner of mental health things going on too. So can you just talk a little bit about what are some of the consequences or impacts of over digital stimulation? What's happening to us?
Well, I mean, whether it's staring at the computer, staring at the TV, staring at the phone, you get mentally drained just looking at that device. And of course, your eyes get mentally drained or fatigued, and then you can get headaches and things like that. So you literally, even in an 8-hour workday, have to step away, breaks from the screen.
Yeah.
And I know what you mean, the feeling of binge watching Netflix. I haven't gotten sick from it, but I feel this we gotta leave the house. It'll be fun for a minute, watching Love is Blind or binging that. But then it's just let's get outside.
It's too much.
Because you turn into this robot zombie.
Yes.
And so, yes, it's definitely important for us to kind of take our breaks from that and have a reset.
But I mean, can we be addicted to it? Like, are people addicted to it? Would you use that language, or is that not the right language to use?
I don't know if just you. Okay, yes. There's internet addictions. There's gaming addictions.
Okay.
Right, staying at the game for 10 hours at a time. But it is everyone having an addiction when they're binging.
Yeah.
No, because it's okay to binge and have a side thing like that. It just all depends. Like an addiction is if you need it and you can't step away from it. You crave it.
Yeah.
You're not functioning. You're not getting up to use the bathroom or eat. You're losing weight because you're not eating because you're
that's
on
next
this
level.
thing.
Yeah.
So right. So probably not. For the most part, it's an addiction. If it's just like the normal person, it's kind of like chilling and being a couch potato.
I heard for the first time the other day a term digital wellness. I had not heard that term, and it was talking about like the relationship that we have to technology that is appropriately balanced, that we binge sometime, but then we get up and we go outside of the house, and having like this kind of balanced relationship with technology. In this time where people can't get away from the email from work, we're not even talking about like we've talked about in our Black women leading community where people feel guilty when they go on vacation and they're like checking that email. You know, they can't stay away from the email. I mean, what, as a real bona fide doctor, what would be your take on like how we can create some boundaries and really having some digital wellness?
Well, we got to get rid of that guilt.
Yeah.
We have to unlearn that do-it-all mentality that I got to get it done. Because a part of that is like an anxiety of, oh, when I come back after a week of vacation, I'm going to have 1,000 emails.
Exactly.
So I need to read the emails now.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've been guilty of that myself, but a cruise is the best vacation because you're barely going to have internet anyway. You can't check it anyway unless you buy the internet package.
Yeah.
But I turn off my work notifications.
Okay.
Even when I clock into work, I do not have my notifications on. I go into the email on my laptop, and I go into it on my phone, but I won't see it when it pops up. So therefore, on the weekend, I won't see it when it pops up.
Okay.
And I used to be bad at still looking anyway, but something about having kids and being on maternity leave somehow stopped me from getting anxious about looking into it, even though the notification's not on. I don't know what that is, but maybe it was just me lessening that guilt because I'm like, I got other things to do. I need to prioritize my family.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of knowing your priorities. If you're off work, don't be at work.
Yeah. It's a boundaries exercise, essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so I'm thinking if we want to increase our digital wellness, it's around setting limits, setting boundaries around, like you said, when I'm off of work, I'm off work. But then you do have some of these toxic environments where there's an expectation that you're supposed to be responding. And so people have to make some decisions for themselves around that. Yeah. They have to make some decisions for themselves
You
around
still
that.
can create boundaries around that. Like if you're expected to look at email 24/7, that doesn't mean you're staring at it 24/7. Maybe every 2 hours you
Glance
look at
in.
it. And that doesn't mean you don't ever have a self-care routine.
Exactly.
So having a self-care routine every day, something that you do for your joy or for your mental reset, is still important. The more responsibilities you do, the more self-care you need to do.
Yeah. And I think this self-care routine, I mean, this digital wellness is just one piece about that. I know you do a lot with the self-care work and educating, speaking on that. Can you talk a little bit about the self-care, what that means to you and what a routine looks like? Because I think sometimes people think of massage that's self-care, but you're not doing that every day.
No.
And we have to have some practices every day.
Kidding.
Trying to be like you when I grow up. No, but we do have to have daily. So can you talk a little bit about your vantage point of self-care and what does the routines look like?
Well, you're speaking of like the myths, right? Self-care is selfish. Self-care is a luxury. Self-care is expensive.
It costs money,
Sure, go get the day spa when you can. I've only done one day spa in my whole life. So and I do a lot of self-care. So that shows that clearly that's not what self-care is. It's a day spa or mani-pedis. Okay, get that done once a month, every 3 weeks, whatever you want to do. But a regular self-care routine is getting up. Maybe you're not looking at your phone right away. You know, that digital detox right away in the morning. Maybe there's a meditation. Maybe you pray. The shower is a part of your self-care routine. Maybe so you do like a skincare routine. A lot of people talk about. I know for me, I make sure I work out. half the days of the week, I get on the treadmill or I do like a strength training routine with Peloton. They have like the hybrid boot camp where you do the Peloton and you do the treadmill and the strength training.
Okay.
And the other half of the week, I'm working out at the end of the day just because that's just when I can do it.
When you can fit it in.
My self-care is definitely getting in some type of workout once a day. But it's not always about working out. Maybe it's a walk. Maybe it's getting sun. Maybe it's literally 5 minutes of a grounding routine where you are just thinking about nothing, thinking about your senses.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we get in our heads, we're overthinking, there's a lot of anxiety, racing thoughts.
Creating narratives that may not even be the truth.
Exactly. So we need to get out of our heads and just be present, thinking about our 5 senses.
Okay.
Deep breathing, journaling, dancing, turning on the music. There's a lot of little things that you can do that bring you joy that's not
weaved into life, into life. What are the consequences to our mental health when we do not have these kind of daily practices and things? What are you seeing and how you're supporting people of that? Because over time that builds up, and that's how we get to burnout and all manner of stuff.
That's what I was going to say. Burnout, stress, mental drain, irritability, you're snapping at others, so you probably have poor work performance.
Yeah.
Poor relationships if you're snapping at people. Poor parenting if you're snapping at people, So, and then, of course, if that just continues and you're not sleeping or not eating, then there's depression, anxiety. It becomes to a clinical level. So burnout all of a sudden becomes a clinical level. And then maybe you get to the point where you used to do 1 glass of wine a night. Now it's a whole bottle
to go to sleep. It's a different level.
Yeah,
that's a different level.
You start smoking weed or you increase your weed intake, people tell me. So you're self-medicating or you're just like, I want to escape. Wanting to escape turns to I want to die. Wanting to die turns to I want to kill myself.
Wow.
So you see, it starts with something simple where you stop doing your usual self-care routine all the way down to suicidal thoughts.
Because it builds up.
It builds up.
And I mean, you're only human. You're not a machine. So what are you having to kind of distill out the daily stress and things of that sort? Ooh, that just went a little deep, Doc.
Oh, it goes. People don't think about them negative thoughts that we have.
And they just cycle on down.
We have to catch those and change them to positive thoughts.
Yeah.
Every time.
So, okay, so this self-care thing is really good because even our topic around the digital detox is part of that. Mm-hmm. But let's say somebody is listening and they're like, yes, I do identify that maybe I need to start to put some limits or some boundaries around this phone, this computer, the doom scrolling, all of those kind of things. But I'm really busy. My job, my business requires me to be on this device. What would you say to people who maybe can't do the silent retreat where I put the phone away for a week or so, but they need to find some small daily practices? What are things that they could start to put into place, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I still feel, maybe it's not a silent retreat for a week, but I still feel like you
dramatic.
can do without it. Because I'm on social media for business. I get on there for personal reasons. I'm more so on there as for business, and then I don't really care much about the personal, but I'll post like things, right, for personal. And so I used to feel like I had to post every single day because it's marketing and I'll get more patients and more book sales. Honestly, when I realized that wasn't actually happening, I was like, I don't need to post every day. Right? So you can also tell yourself, first of all, you can hire somebody to do that for you.
Yes, you can.
That works for not doing the digital detox. That's their job, is to be all over digital. So first of all, you can hire somebody.
Yeah.
But just tell yourself you really don't have to be on there every single day, or to just put in breaks, especially if you're taking 3 hours to make a TikTok video or reel or something like that. There's intermittent breaks that you can take.
Yeah.
For me, creating reels are actually fun. That's actually a part of my self-care. So there's that part too. Yeah. And when you said the doom scrolling, sometimes that starts out fun. Like, my whole algorithm are parents making jokes about their toddlers. It is hilarious. And then when I start to realize, oh, wait, I've done this too long.
What, too long?
It's no longer hilarious.
Because it's made to keep you scrolling. Right.
Yeah, and if you just go in there, let's say we're talking about for work. Oh, I need to contact so-and-so to get her on my podcast. And on Instagram,
it happens all the time.
You go to the search. Then there's all these, look at these videos. Then I look at those videos. Oh, wait, what was I on Instagram in the first place for?
It happens all the time. I was reading an article the other day. I'm blanking on who the professional was that wrote it, but they were like a sleep specialist or something. And they were talking about, it was a phrase. I'll explain it. I can't remember the terminology. But they were talking about how a lot of busy adults you do your thing, you take your shower, you get in the bed, you're tired, you're about to go to bed, and you pick up the phone and you start doom scrolling.
Yeah.
And they were saying that it's a term that talks about doom scrolling is almost like a way to take control back of your time, but it gets away from you. So it's almost like, I've been working so hard doing all this for everybody else. I'm scrolling. I'm gonna do
and going
this.
blah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
do nothing.
Yeah, and I'm gonna, I'm gonna look at this for me, and it's like a faulty attempt to reclaim your time.
Yeah.
But then it starts to rob you of your sleep. It was like a whole thing. They had a term around it and everything, and that it's a common phenomenon, especially with people who feel like, their day ran away from them or their time ran away from them. And it's like it's almost like I've done this before with my sugar addiction that I've had, my ups and downs with. You have a hard, stressful day and you eating the sugar like, I deserve these cookies, right? Because the sugar is the way you're dealing with.
Comfort eating, comfort scrolling.
So that's what it was.
Yeah.
But I hadn't made the connection of, you said you was tired, you were exhausted, you're getting in the bed.
So go to sleep.
But here you are for 2 hours doing this, and they were equating it to like that was your opportunity to take back your time. But I'm like, then you exhausted in the morning.
But then what benefit is it doing for your health? So maybe that could be the question.
Yeah.
Because there are many times where I've chosen the treadmill over sleep. Sleep is very important, but then I realize a half hour on the treadmill and a half hour less of sleep is beneficial to my health.
Yeah, the other thing
if
is
it's
not.
a half hour of scrolling.
Yeah.
They was doing anything.
The article was saying that you like lying to yourself is what they were saying, but there's a false rationale that people are doing around it.
That's true. And then also the sounds, if you have the volume up, you're switching from maybe some laughter to some screams to some really weird types of noises. And all of that switching, I've read about too, switching in your head, that can cause stress as you don't even realize it's happening because you can't control what the next reel is going to show.
Okay. Okay, we need to get our lives together.
And we wonder why ADHD is increased.
Lord
All
have
this
mercy.
digital stuff
I mean,
is causing it.
it's a connection there.
I think so.
Yeah.
I personally have ADHD, and as a psychiatrist, I feel like it creates it because there's just so much getting to our attention. Like I said, you pick up your phone, you have 12 notifications at the top.
Yeah.
But the reason you picked up your phone was to call your husband, for instance.
Yeah.
But then all the notifications is like, oh, I got to pay that bill. Oh, somebody sent that email.
So you all over the
wait,
place.
I'm supposed to call my husband. Like, you
all
never
over
did
the
that.
place. You all over the place.
Exactly. So a lot of people have their phones on D&D. So that do not disturb wellness is important.
Okay. So let's think about some strategies. And we could even expand this because I think we've talked a little bit about some of the digital detox stuff is around boundaries. It's even around using some of the tech things like the do not disturb. It's around setting limits and things. And like you say, it doesn't have to be that for a week you're not on it. Although I have seen people feel some benefit of like going off of Facebook for a little because they're too sensitive.
Left social media for the year of 2025.
Really?
And this man is somebody that's been on social media. He posts one little thing, get 1,000 likes, and everybody loves this man.
What was his kind of?
It was just getting stressful. Like, people would reach out, get in his inbox, family members from Colombia getting in his inbox saying, oh, you doing all this? Can I have this?
Oh,
and
of course.
It was just getting a lot of stress. So he was like, I'm just going to go a year without this. And I was shocked. I was like, really? Because, like, he was actually helping me. Because when he would post about my book, a lot of people would see it. I'm like, now I got to do the marketing on my own by myself. But it's been good for him. It's October right now, and
he ain't thinking about it.
He has not been on it, so it's good. And I have a friend this friend usually sends me a ton of reels, and I had to put boundaries on that. I'm like, okay, you sent me that reel, but I'm not gonna look at it because that would make me get a little anxious. Like, I have to watch this reel that she sent me.
I see.
And I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna watch it anyway. But she goes back and forth between Facebook, Instagram, fasting.
Yeah, I've seen people talk about it's really beneficial, or they just delete because I do find when I have some idle time, like for instance traveling or idle time, you don't even realize it and you just doodling around and then you open the thing up.
Yeah.
And I have had times, like focus times, I'm working on a project, I'm doing some writing, where I'll delete the apps and I will find myself like, I don't even know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that thing. I think it's an automatic, I'm like looking for Facebook, but I delete it. And I will be doing this and not realizing and then have the connection. So I think there are some default behaviors. And they have all these documentaries. I never watched them, but people talk about that so good, that go into the psychology of like all of the social media apps and how they were created to keep us, you know, scrolling and touching and looking and things of that sort. So I think, you know, part of this is if people are feeling like something is overwhelming, that's probably their first indicator that a digital detox might be something they need to look into. Like your husband saying, you know what, this is getting stressful. So that self-awareness led him to that.
Or feeling like it defines you. Like, am I constantly looking back at my views, my likes?
Did people respond?
My follows,
what
my
did
subscribes?
they say?
Do you feel it defines you? Like, especially if someone unfollows you. Like, asking yourself, how does that make you feel? And if it's like making you feel defeated, then you don't need this. Take a break, because it should not define you.
Yeah, this is good. Okay, so I want to distill a couple of things. Okay, somebody listening, taking notes. We have heard that last point you made was really good. If you are starting to have feelings around stress, higher levels of stress, that you're looking for like extra validation from the engagement, that those are indicators that you might need to consider a digital reset. Back. A step back, some boundaries, a fast from it for some time. And then we've also heard just kind of the overstimulation, whether it's our doom scrolling at night, can be having negative impact on our health, mental and physical, for that reason. Because, I mean, I have had a moment with doom scrolling, and it's taken me some time. And I knew I had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And here I am with bags. And then you ineffective for the rest of the day. It doesn't happen a lot, but that has happened to me. And so I think the other thing we talked about as far as your cues is like the vacation away from work and feeling guilt or some type of shame for not responding. Those really strong emotions seem to be like the main trigger if you need to kind of go into a reset or a detox.
And you know, if you feel so guilty, is it because your supervisor expects it? Then it's kind of like,
that's another thing to consider, that you
might
need to them? Or you need to get up out of there.
Exactly.
Because that is toxic. With a lot of leaders, and we talk about it in Black Woman Leading, a lot of leaders, it's kind of like parenting, where we say it's not effective to say, do as I say, not as I do, right? And of course, if you're a leader, your team is not your children. But a lot of organizations and leaders don't realize they set the tone. So if you are sending emails at 2 o'clock in the morning, you are communicating something about what a leader does here, or what is expected. So on the other side of you listening, and you the one doing all of that.
Exactly. And then you're making your team feel like they have to respond if they see it at 2 a.m.
Exactly. And I think there's ways to do it. For example, I'm a super early riser. I can be up at 5 o'clock. If I know that I'm going to have a busy day, I might get up, do my little self-care practice, and say, I know I got a couple of emails of things I need to respond to. I will do my response, but I will schedule them to go out at 9 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
Just to,
I looked at that for sure.
You know what I mean? Just to communicate that there are no unreasonable expectations. I also don't want you looking at me like, what's she doing sending that at 5 o'clock in the morning? Don't she got a life?
Right.
I got a life. I'm just up early, right? So, I mean, I think there's a lot of these things.
Yeah.
When you think about the work that you're doing and the broader scheme of self-awareness, right? I mean, not self-awareness, self-care. Not just the digital detox, right? Let's say somebody's listening and they are feeling, you know, stressed. They're feeling anxious. They're feeling from the digital or from whatever. What are some of those first steps you encourage people when they start to just feel that dis-ease, for lack of a better word? What are some of the first steps to start to move towards health?
Well, the very first step in the moment is to take a pause and a deep breath. Because stress and anxiety is opening up the fight or flight system. The fight or flight system is increasing your heart rate, increasing your blood pressure on purpose. Because if a bear comes in here right now, I need to be able to fight it or run as fast as possible. Or you always hear about the mom with the adrenaline being able to lift a car off of her baby. I don't know why the car is on her baby. But that's a fight or flight system. So anxiety and stress kicks in that fight or flight system for nothing. There's nothing going on that needs that much adrenaline.
Yeah.
So therefore, deep breathing, and a lot of people say, oh, deep breathing, what is that?
It's a
well,
game changer.
It puts you back into the rest and digest system so that you are able to calm down and think. Because if something's happening and you just snap impulsively, not thinking, you cuss out your boss or something like that, you need to be able to. And it's not allowed. I don't have time to take deep breath.
You breathing all day long.
Exactly. So box breathing, deep breathing, breathing in for 4 seconds, holding it for 4 seconds, breathing out for 4 seconds, holding it for 4 seconds is the number one thing that people need to start doing. For sure. And then, of course, grounding, I mentioned earlier. So engaging your 5 senses. It could be that you're thinking about your happy place. I know my happy place is the beach. So I think about, what do I see? I see the waves. I hear the waves. I smell the sea. I taste the salt water, if that's something happy for you. I feel the sand. And just every time I even describe that, I feel better.
Because it's taking you there and taking your mind off whatever the thing is. So first step is to pause, breathe.
Yes.
Connect with your body and your senses and your surroundings. And I mean, that is so simple. We all have access to that, but that's not what we
don't do it.
We don't
do that while you're driving. Don't close your eyes.
Yeah, don't close your eyes, please.
But you literally can do it like, okay, what are 5 things I can see? I see that car over there. I see that stop sign. What do I hear? I hear somebody over there.
They're just going through the senses.
Yeah, just getting out of your head at the very least.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. For anything else you would recommend, their own self-care they could do. And then when do they need to come see you?
So, to answer that first part of that, what else you need to do? Something physical every day.
Okay.
Something physical every day. At the very minimum, 30 minutes a day, 3 days a week. But if you could do something physical, getting your heart rate up every day, that is very helpful, especially with anxiety. And, obviously getting good sleep, making sure you're eating healthy.
Yeah.
We all turn into comfort food, but it's just not helpful for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when do they need to come see us? Relationships are faltering, you're not doing well at work, you don't feel like getting out of the bed, you're not showing up at work, you're not showing up at school, you're failing all of a sudden, you're not eating, you're not sleeping, you're sleeping too much, you're eating too much.
So major life functioning is getting out of control, getting haywire. Of
course, suicidal thoughts. Or some people get so stressed that they start hearing voices and things like that. So definitely come see me if that's the case.
Yes. ASAP.
And it doesn't always mean you need a medication when you see the psychiatrist. I'm a firm believer in therapeutic strategies.
Yeah. Because sometimes people scared of y'all.
They scared. I don't throw pills.
Yeah, sometimes people scared, but sometimes folks need a pill.
Sometimes you do, and that doesn't mean you're going to be on it forever.
Exactly. So we know there are some things that are within our reach, but what the good doctor is saying is that if you start to see kind of your life functioning, major things to how you're taking care of yourself, your sleep, your eating, to your relationships, to what you have to do out in the world, school, work, that's when it might be beyond your own self-care.
You're not yourself anymore.
Yep. Okay, I love it. I want to transition and ask you some questions about our season's theme, because, part of our mission here at the podcast is, of course, to bring expertise and talk about our topic focus, right? But it's also to highlight real Black women leading and to hear your thoughts on the things that we're talking about. So before we transition to a few of those questions about the season's theme, anything else you want to add or share or with the listeners around this topic of, when it might be time for a digital detox or digital reset, or just around self-care? Any final thoughts on that?
Yeah, just every day doing a joy check-in.
Yeah.
How do I feel right now, mentally, physically, emotionally? Because that helps enlighten you and have more self-awareness when you're just doing a check-in.
Yeah.
And what's a joy routine? Even if it's a 10-minute routine, what is a joy ritual that you can do each day?
Okay. I love it. That's a perfect segue into some of our core season questions. So this season's theme is leaning into joy.
Nice.
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
Which is leading into joy. And you really just started to talk about it. What are some of your joy routines or your joy practices that you make intentional time for in your life?
I love running. Running's my medication, my therapy, my zen, my reset, everything. If anything is up against running, it's running. That's the choice.
Okay.
If there's a race, sorry, I have a race. I can't do that thing.
Okay.
And I have a goal of running 100 half marathons. I just ran my 45th.
Are you? Oh, you a runner. You're not like a hobby runner. You're a runner.
I love it. It makes me feel so good. But if I've learned, I mean, that if I miss a few days of running, then I get that, I feel that stress kicking in. I'm
Okay.
snappy. I'm more susceptible to sadness.
Yeah.
I'm like, why am I crying? Oh, I haven't ran in a couple of days. But I pay attention to that.
But that's good that you've identified that for yourself
People
as
have to
your
identify
thing.
what their thing is.
What your thing is.
If it's yoga, cool.
Yeah.
If it's a walk, cool. If it's journaling, dancing,
Yeah,
whatever.
mine is
what's
a
your
walk
thing?
with the audiobook.
Oh.
Not quite the run.
That's
Marathon,
good.
but it's the walk with the audiobook.
And you're in nature.
That's
you're
mine.
looking at the butterfly.
That's
yeah.
mine. Yeah, that's mine. That's mine.
Good.
Okay, this is good. This is good. Now, you have a very full life. You have a practice. You have, I mean, you doing all kinds of stuff. You speaking, you running, you doing all, your mama, you know, you doing all kinds of stuff. How do you create the time? Because a lot of people will say, okay, finding my thing is one thing.
Yeah.
The other thing is like consistently building that in.
Yeah.
So what are kind of, what's your mindset around, I don't care about this business and everything else I got to run, I'm going to run.
Yeah.
Like, how do you manage all the things to find the time?
It goes back to knowing that my running is necessary. So hopefully everybody brushes their teeth every day because you know it's necessary.
Yes.
Everybody eats every day because you know it's necessary. You're
Yeah.
breathing automatically
Yeah.
because it's necessary. So running is an automatic thing that I do, even when I'm tired. Tuesday night, there was some stress. I slept 3 hours Tuesday night. I woke up exhausted. I usually work out Wednesday morning. I almost went back to bed after getting the kids out the door. And I said, I don't care. I work out on Wednesday mornings. I worked out anyway, and I felt great. I didn't even realize I had slept three hours.
Wow.
Because by 2 p.m., I was just like feeling really, really good. So it's a matter of knowing it and making it necessary. It's not a optional thing.
Yeah.
Whatever that thing is for you, making it a necessity.
Yeah, and it sounds like almost like a mindset shift that this is
shift.
it's a mandatory kind of thing,
Yes,
like
shifting our
the
minds.
other things that's mandatory too. Okay, Doc. Okay, Doc. I'm listening to you. I'm listening.
And I talk
to
about
you.
that in one of my books.
Yes.
Inspire Joy for the Wife, Mom, Boss. Because like you said, I'm
Yes.
doing a lot. I'm a wife. I'm a mom of 3 boys, 2, 4, and 14. And,
Oh, bless
and
ya.
plus all the things I juggle as a boss. So it can get really...
Yeah. I mean, but
It can be a lot.
if you wanted to commit to doing it daily, it would have to be mandatory in your head, right? Because with just the momming part, with a 2, 4, and 14, we're not even adding the
Exactly.
business and everything else
Exactly.
you're doing. That
Yeah.
it will easily fall off.
Right.
Fall
But you
off
need a
the
village,
list.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm obviously not doing this by myself. I have
Yeah.
a fantastic husband.
Yeah.
My mom's in town. She takes care of the kids in town. She lives a few minutes away. My mother-in-law lives even less of that away, 2
Yeah,
minutes away.
yeah.
My sister-in-law. So we have a lot of help,
That's
which is
great.
amazing.
So that was my next question. As we think about like creating these intentional practices of joy, you shared just a little bit about the importance of community and being able to create that for yourself. How else though does community play into joy for you? Like how else does your community help you to find more joy in your life?
Yeah, it's that fulfillment, empowerment piece.
Yeah.
Like when you're involved in organizations, sororities, fraternities, church, doing things and giving
Yeah.
back. It's that it feels good.
Yeah.
Right. But of course, we can get too involved where we feel like we start overextending ourselves and we're being everything to everyone at
Yeah.
all times.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a delicate balance. But that social health in my journal, NJoy, I talk about the 5 crucial health areas. So mental, physical, financial, aspirational, and social health.
Yes.
So social health, we have to feel social connected. We
Okay.
are humans. So that's necessary for us to be able to interact and be involved. But just knowing that the priorities, right? So
Yeah.
your family comes first. You know, if your spiritual God comes first, your family, and then you're working in the community, right?
Yeah.
So just knowing the steps and the priorities, but it's all important.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You have a podcast around joy.
Yes, Journey to Joy Live. Everything's joy because I'm Dr. NJoy.
Yes. Joy is your middle name.
Joy is literally my middle name.
Literally, though, not like figure of
Yes.
speech.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your podcast and some of your books, because you referenced a few, and I think they're in alignment with self-care and the stuff that we're talking
Oh,
about.
yeah. So I started the podcast. So first of all, I had my last baby January 2023, and something about like knowing that was my last baby and being on maternity leave, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna just break through and get back to me.
Okay.
What do I want to do professionally that I'm not doing now? So July of 2023, I started the podcast, got more social media involved as far as the profession.
Yeah.
Started my private practice, but the point of the podcast was, and that was during Minority Mental Health Awareness Month, is to create awareness of mental health and break down the stigma, especially in Black communities, because we don't be wanting to go to therapy.
I feel like I think about in our Black women leading community, I think it's pretty much a standard, but in a lot of other communities, or I think it depends on too of like how your family kind of talks about it and all of that. It determines if it's safe to explore, I think, for some people. So we still got work to do.
So I try to make it fun, make it okay to talk about it, and it's okay to talk about uncomfortable things or make you feel comfortable talking about uncomfortable things. So yeah, Journey to Joy Live. I go live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Many topics. Everything relates back to joy. I've talked about ADHD, sex as self-care, parenting stress, the overachieving woman and burnout. I talk about a lot of different things. But the book...
Yes.
Since you asked.
Yes, honey.
So the NJoy instead of a journal. NJoy, Nurturing Authentic Living. So it's a therapeutic companion that uses the Inspired Joy method, which is talking about the mental, physical, financial, aspirational, and social health, as well as resilience and empowerment. So it's 300 pages of therapeutic worksheets, positive affirmations, and self-care tips. And then just this past Mother's Day,
congratulations,
Inspired Joy for the Wife, Mom, Boss, balancing it all without losing yourself.
Yes.
And so it's part memoir too, because I have to talk about my stuff for you all to understand how I juggle everything.
Yeah.
But of course, practical tips as well.
I love it. So we'll have the links to the books in the show notes so people can get that. This has really been lovely. I appreciate you kind of sharing your perspective, giving us some tips, not only for the digital reset, but also for self-care in general. Any final things you want to share before we wrap for today?
Just make sure you prioritize you.
Make sure
because when you do that, you can be what you need to be for others.
Awesome. Well, I hope you all have enjoyed this episode today. Dr. Joy.
Dr. Joy.
Dr. Nina Joy.
That's one of
How can people connect with you before I
my website, everything's on my website, drnjoylife.com, but dr.joy.life is Instagram and TikTok, and YouTube is Dr. NJoy Life MD.
Awesome. So we'll put all the links in the show notes. Awesome. We hope that you all have enjoyed this episode today. If you want to connect with us, we are at Black Woman Leading on all platforms. Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. You can also visit our website at blackwomanleading.com. If you'd like to connect with me personally, I'm Laura E. Knights, and I am primarily on LinkedIn and Instagram. And finally, if you want to learn more about our work inside of organizations, doing leadership and team development work, you can check out our corporate site at knightsconsultinggroup.com. We love to connect with you in any of these ways. And until next time, be well. Black woman, lead. Keep on.